The survey ship Eternal Wisdom floated silently in the darkness of space. Inside, Commander Zixatheta stared at the viewing screen with all four of his eyes. His 6 tentacles gripped the command chair tighter than usual. They had just arrived at System X-47-3, a place every space traveler knew about. Most called it the graveyard. Beginning scan of the third planet, announced Velnari, the junior scanner operator. Her blue scales flickered nervously. Everyone knew what they would find. Death. Nothing but death. The planet appeared on their screens. It was a sphere of blue and green and white, spinning slowly in the void. Beautiful from a distance, but every database in the galaxy marked it as one of the most dangerous worlds ever discovered. Temperature readings are coming in, Velnari said. The surface varies from -60 degrees to +55 degrees Celsius. How can anything survive such extremes? They cannot, replied Science Officer Kratok. His voice buzzed through his breathing vents. That is why 3 different species have tried to colonize this world. All died within 1 solar rotation. The commander watched as more data filled their screens. The planet was a nightmare. Massive storms swept across its surface. The ground itself moved and shook, splitting open without warning. Mountains exploded with liquid rock and poisonous gases. Water fell from the sky, sometimes freezing, sometimes flooding entire regions. Look at these life readings, Kratok continued. Microscopic organisms that eat through metal. Flying insects that inject toxins. Large predators that hunt in groups. Even the plants produce poisons. And the gravity, added Navigator Jixazan, his feathers ruffling in distress. 1.5 times galactic standard. Our bones would crack after just a few days there. Zixatheta had seen many death worlds in his long career. Planets where acid rained from the sky. Worlds of eternal ice. Places where radiation would cook you in seconds. But this planet was different. It was not just one type of danger. It was all of them mixed together in a deadly combination. Sir, Velnari's voice suddenly rose in pitch. I am detecting something unusual. Define unusual, the commander said, though he was not really interested. They would mark this planet as uninhabitable and move on, just like the hundreds of survey ships before them. I am reading electromagnetic patterns, organized ones. She checked her instruments again. Sir, these look like cities. The bridge went completely silent. Every crew member turned to stare at Velnari. She shrunk under their gaze but continued working at her station. That is impossible, Kratok said firmly. Your instruments must be malfunctioning. No intelligent life could develop on such a world. I am running diagnostics now, Velnari replied. Her tentacles danced across the controls. All systems operating normally. I'm detecting multiple population centers, industrial activity, agriculture, transportation networks. Commander Zixatheta floated over to her station. His species had evolved on a peaceful water world, where the biggest danger was eating too much algae. The idea of intelligence rising from that ball of death below them went against everything he knew about life. Magnify Sector 7, he ordered. The screen zoomed in on a coastal area. What they saw made no sense. Cities sprawled across the landscape. Vehicles moved along paths cut through the terrain. Ships crossed the violent seas. Aircraft flew through the turbulent atmosphere. How many? The commander asked quietly. Based on heat signatures and infrastructure. Velnari paused to double-check her calculations. Approximately 8 billion individuals. 8 billion? Jixazan squawked. There are 8 billion intelligent beings living on a planet that killed the Durathi colony in 3 days. The Durathi were weak, Kratok said, but his voice lacked conviction. The Durathi were known for their endurance. If they could not survive this world, who could? The commander made a decision that would change galactic history. Take us closer. Use stealth mode. We need to know what we are dealing with. The ship descended slowly through the layers of space around the death world. Their shields strained against radiation that would kill an unprotected being in minutes. Solar wind that could strip flesh from bones battered their hull, and this was just the space around the planet. As they entered the upper atmosphere, the ship shook violently. The air itself seemed angry, tossing them around like a leaf in a storm. Warning lights flashed as their systems detected chemical compounds that could dissolve most known materials. Maintaining stealth mode, reported the pilot, though his voice showed the strain of keeping them hidden while fighting the planet's atmosphere. They positioned themselves in orbit, hidden from detection by their advanced technology, or so they thought. Commander, Velnari said, we are being scanned. Impossible. Our stealth systems are the best in the galaxy. Nevertheless, we are being actively scanned by multiple sources. Their technology is more advanced than expected. On the screen, they watched as the beings below continued their daily activities. The crew saw them walking in the open air with no protective suits. They saw them swimming in water filled with predators. They saw them climbing mountains where the air was too thin for most species to breathe. "What are they?" Jixazan whispered. Before anyone could answer, the communication system activated. The universal translator worked for a moment, then produced words in a clear, friendly voice. "Unidentified vessel, this is Earth Traffic Control. We see you up there. No need to hide. Welcome to Earth. Would you like to come down for dinner?" The bridge erupted in chaos. They had been discovered. The Deathworlders knew they were here, but instead of attacking, instead of fleeing, they were inviting them to dinner. "They want us to go down there?" Jixazan's feathers stood straight up. "To the surface? Where the air is poison and the water burns." "Sir, they are sending another message," Velnari said. The screen showed an image. Beings that stood on two legs with no scales, no feathers, no protective shells. Just soft pink and brown skin covered in fabric. They were smiling, showing their teeth in what the translator suggested was a friendly gesture. "These are humans." The message continued. "We are sorry if we startled you. We have been hoping to meet people from other worlds for a very long time. Please do not be afraid. We promise we are quite friendly, though we understand our planet has a bit of a reputation." A bit of a reputation. The commander would have laughed if his species could. This planet was listed in 37 different databases as unsurvivable. It was used as an example in military academies of environments that could not be conquered, and these humans called it a bit of a reputation. "They evolved here," Kratok said slowly, as if testing the words. "They did not come from somewhere else and adapt. This is their home world." The implications were staggering. Every known intelligent species had evolved on worlds with predictable climates, stable geology, and manageable predators. The galactic community had established rules about what kind of planets could support the development of intelligence. "This world broke every single rule, sir. What do we do?" Velnari asked. Commander Zixatheta looked at his crew. He saw fear, confusion, and curiosity in equal measure. These humans should not exist. They defied everything the galaxy knew about life. But they were here, 8 billion of them, thriving on a world that would kill anyone else. "Send a message to the Galactic Council," he ordered. "Priority 1. Tell them we have discovered something impossible." He paused, looking at the blue and green ball of death below them, where billions of impossible beings lived their lives surrounded by constant danger. "Tell them we have found intelligent life on a death world, and they want to be friends." The crew worked in stunned silence as they prepared the message that would shake the foundations of galactic science. Below them, the humans continued their day, unaware that they had just broken the universe's understanding of what life could be. On the screen, the commander watched a human child playing in frozen water, while another rode on the back of a large predator they called a dog. He saw humans jumping from high places for fun, setting fire to their food before eating it, and building homes next to active volcanoes. What kind of species, he wondered aloud, looks at a planet trying to kill them and decides to call it home? He was about to find out. Commander Zixatheta had not slept in 3 cycles. How could he? Every piece of data they collected about the humans made less sense than the last. His 6 tentacles moved constantly, pulling up reports, videos, and readings from the planet below. "Commander, you need to see this," Velnari called from her station. On the main screen, she displayed a video feed from Earth's communication networks. A group of humans stood at the edge of a cliff. The drop was at least 100 meters onto sharp rocks and violent water. Any reasonable being would step back. Instead, the humans attached elastic cords to their legs and jumped. They fell toward certain death, only to be pulled back at the last moment by the cord. They were laughing. "They do this for entertainment?" Jixazan asked, his feathers flat against his head in horror. "Bungee jumping, they call it," Velnari explained. "It is one of their milder activities." Milder. The word echoed through the bridge. If throwing yourself off cliffs was mild, what did these humans consider extreme? They got their answer soon enough. The next video showed humans climbing frozen waterfalls with metal spikes, diving into caves filled with water in complete darkness, and skiing down mountains ahead of avalanches they had triggered themselves. "Sir, interrupted Communications Officer Thexnil. The humans are transmitting again. They seem quite eager to meet us. The message appeared on screen, translated into Galactic Standard. Hello, friends from the stars. We hope you are comfortable up there. We have prepared a landing area whenever you're ready. Our scientists are very excited to meet you. Also, our chefs want to know if you have any dietary restrictions. We would hate to accidentally poison you with our food. Poison them with food, Kratok muttered. They say it so casually. The commander made a decision. Send a message to the Galactic Council. Request an emergency diplomatic team. Make sure they bring the best environmental suits we have. While they waited for the diplomatic team, the crew continued to observe. What they saw challenged everything they thought they knew about intelligent life. In one city, humans packed themselves into metal boxes that moved at deadly speeds, barely missing each other. They called them cars. The humans seemed to find the danger so normal they often did other activities while controlling these death machines, like drinking hot liquid or talking on communication devices. In another place, humans swam in ocean water filled with creatures that could kill them. Some humans specifically sought out the most dangerous ones. They called it shark diving, and they seemed disappointed when the predators did not try to eat them. Look at this, Velnari said, highlighting a new feed. They are having a festival where they run in front of large, angry herbivores with horns. Indeed, hundreds of humans were running through narrow streets while massive creatures charged after them. Some humans fell and were stepped on. Medical teams dragged them away, repaired their broken bodies, and many of the injured seemed eager to do it again next year. They heal from injuries that would kill us, Kratok observed. Broken bones, torn flesh, damaged organs. They repair and continue functioning. The science officer had been studying human biology through their medical broadcasts. What he found disturbed him more than their dangerous activities. Their bodies are in constant war, he explained to the crew. Trillions of bacteria live inside them. Their immune system fights battles every second. They consume foods that contain mild toxins and their bodies just process them. They can survive losing large amounts of blood. They can function with damaged organs. Some humans have even survived being technically dead for several minutes. How? The commander asked. Evolution under extreme pressure, Kratok theorized. Every generation that survived this death world passed on genes for endurance, healing, and adaptability. They did not become intelligent despite this world. They became intelligent because of it. 3 days later, the diplomatic ship arrived. Ambassador Krelon of the Galactic Council stepped aboard the Eternal Wisdom with obvious reluctance. He was followed by his team, all wearing the most advanced environmental suits available. Commander, the ambassador said formally, his voice filtered through his suit's speakers. I have read your reports. I assume you have exaggerated the danger for dramatic effect? See for yourself, Zixatheta replied, gesturing to the observation deck. As if on cue, the screen showed a human weather report. A massive spiral of clouds was approaching a coastal area. The humans called it a hurricane. Winds that could shred metal, water rising to destroy entire cities. Any sensible species would evacuate the planet if possible. The humans were having hurricane parties. They celebrate the approaching destruction? The ambassador asked weakly. They say it builds community spirit, Velnari explained. The ambassador was quiet for a long moment. Then he straightened his environmental suit and said, We must go down. The council demands first-hand contact. The landing shuttle launched an hour later. Inside, 5 diplomats and 10 security officers sat in full environmental suits. The suits could protect against radiation, toxic air, extreme temperatures, and most known biological hazards. Everyone hoped it would be enough. As they descended through Earth's atmosphere, the shuttle shook violently. Lightning struck them twice. Wind tried to tear them apart. When they finally broke through the clouds, they saw their landing site. A flat area of ground surrounded by towering structures of metal and glass. New York City, the pilot announced. The humans built this on a swamp in a hurricane zone on geologically unstable ground. Of course they did, someone muttered. The shuttle landed carefully. Through the windows they could see a group of humans waiting. They wore no protective equipment. Simple fabric covered their bodies. Their heads were exposed to the air. They stood in Earth's full gravity as if it weighed nothing. Ambassador Krelon checked his suit seals one more time. The readings were terrifying. The air outside contained enough microscopic life to infect them with dozens of diseases. The radiation from their sun would burn unprotected skin. The gravity would exhaust them within minutes. "Open the door," he ordered. The ramp lowered. Earth's air rushed in and every alarm in their suits activated. Toxic, dangerous, fatal. But the humans just stood there smiling. A human female stepped forward. She had dark hair and brown skin and moved with a confidence that suggested she did not realize she lived on a planet that was trying to kill her. "Welcome to Earth," she said warmly. "I am Secretary General Chen Martinez of the United Nations. We are so happy to finally meet beings from another world." She extended her hand. The ambassador stared at it. His briefing said this was a greeting ritual, but it required touching. Actual physical contact. His suit would protect him, but the very idea of touching a Deathworlder made his scales itch. He extended his suited hand carefully. The human gripped it firmly and moved it up and down. Even through the suit, he could feel the strength in that grip. These soft-looking beings were stronger than they appeared. "Would you like to come inside?" Chen Martinez asked. "We have prepared refreshments." Refreshments. On a death world. The ambassador wondered what horrors awaited them. They followed the humans into a building. The security team kept their weapons ready, though they doubted they would help if the humans turned hostile. Inside, they found a large room with transparent walls showing the city beyond. A table held various foods and liquids. "Please sit," Chen Martinez said. "I understand you cannot remove your suits, but we wanted you to see our hospitality." A small human entered the room. A child, the ambassador realized. It could not be more than 5 Earth years old. It walked directly toward him, showing no fear of the suited aliens. "Hello," the child said. "Are you from space? Do you have spaceships? Can I see them? My mom says I can't go to space until I'm older, but maybe you could take me. I promise I'll be good." The child held out something. A flat, round object with dark spots. "It's a cookie," the child explained. "Chocolate chip. They're really good." The ambassador's suit immediately analyzed the object. Sugar, a mild toxin. Chocolate, deadly to many species. Processed grains that could cause digestive failure. The child was offering him poison as a gift. "That is very kind," he managed to say. "But our suits do not allow us to eat." The child looked disappointed, but then brightened. "That's okay. Do you want to see my pet? Her name is Fluffy." Before anyone could stop her, the child ran to a corner and returned carrying a long-scaled creature. Every member of the diplomatic team stepped back. It was a snake. A predator that killed with venom. "She's friendly," the child assured them as the snake wrapped around her arm. "She only eats mice, dead ones. Mom buys them frozen." The humans kept frozen dead animals to feed to predators they lived with, as pets, for companionship. The meeting continued for 2 hours. The humans showed them their city through the windows. Millions of humans lived stacked on top of each other in towers that swayed in the wind. They traveled in tunnels under the ground where the air was even more toxic. They explained how they had built this city after destroying it several times in wars against each other. "You fought wars against your own species?" the ambassador asked. "Many times," Chen Martinez admitted. "We have a violent history. But we learned. Now we work together, most of the time." As the meeting ended, Chen Martinez asked a question that would haunt the ambassador. Ambassador Krelon stood in the preparation chamber of the diplomatic vessel, watching his team check their environmental suits for the 5th time. Today, they would return to Earth for extended negotiations. The Galactic Council had voted, barely, to open formal dialogue with the humans. Many members thought it was madness to engage with Deathworlders. Others were too curious to refuse. "Suit integrity at maximum," reported Dr. Yixmar, the mission's lead anthropologist. Her forearms moved efficiently over her equipment, though I doubt any suit can truly protect us from that world. "We survived the first visit," Krelon reminded her. "Barely. Did you read my report on their atmosphere? They breathe a gas that causes metal to rust. They live in it constantly. How does it not destroy their internal organs?" "It does," said Medical Officer Brextu. "I have studied their medical data. Their bodies show constant damage from oxidation. They simply repair it faster than it kills them. They even have a name for it. Aging, they call it. They named their slow death process," Yixmar said wonderingly, "and they accept it as normal." The shuttle launched, carrying 12 delegates from different species. Each wore the finest protective equipment their civilizations could produce. As Earth grew larger in their viewports, several delegates began showing signs of stress. Scales changed color, feathers ruffled, breathing vents wheezed. "Remember," Krelon addressed his team. We are here to establish peaceful relations. The humans seem friendly despite being Deathworlders. Do not show fear. They apparently find it rude. How can we not show fear? Squeaked Delegate Pixel, the smallest member of their group. They live alongside predators. They consume toxins for pleasure. Their children play with danger. Then pretend, Krelon said firmly. The future of galactic relations may depend on this meeting. They landed in the same city as before. New York, the humans called it. Through the shuttle windows, they could see the human delegation waiting. This time there were more of them. Scientists, politicians, military officials, and surprisingly, what appeared to be food preparation specialists. Secretary General Chen Martinez greeted them warmly as they descended the ramp. Ambassador Krelon, welcome back to Earth. We have prepared a full tour to help you understand our world and our people. A tour? Krelon tried to keep the worry from his translated voice. Of the planet? Just some highlights, she assured him. We understand your concerns about safety. We will start with something simple. A restaurant, on a death world, where they prepared food that could kill most galactic citizens. Krelon felt his scales shift nervously. They traveled in vehicles the humans called buses. The delegates gripped their seats as the vehicle moved through the chaotic traffic. Humans controlled these metal death traps manually, trusting their reflexes to avoid collision. Several delegates closed their eyes rather than watch. The restaurant was a large building filled with humans consuming various foods. The smell, even through their suit filters, was overwhelming. Burning flesh, boiling plants, fermented liquids. How the humans could find it appetizing was beyond understanding. This is a typical Earth restaurant, Chen Martinez explained. We serve food from many cultures here. A human in white clothing approached. A chef, they called him. He carried a tray of different items. I want to show you the variety of human food, he said proudly. This is sushi, raw fish with rice. This is cheese, milk that we let bacteria eat until it becomes solid. This is bread, ground plants that we let fungus inflate. And this is hot sauce, concentrated capsaicin that causes pain receptors to fire. You cause yourself pain on purpose? Dr. Yixmar asked, her recording device active. It releases endorphins, the chef explained. Natural painkillers. We have learned to enjoy the sensation. He pointed to another dish. This is coffee, a liquid containing a stimulant drug. Most humans consume it daily. And this is alcohol, a poison that damages the brain in small, pleasurable ways. You deliberately damage your brains? Brextu asked in horror. Only a little, the chef said cheerfully. It helps us relax. They moved to another section of the city, a place the humans called a hospital. Here, Krelon thought, they would see how humans dealt with their dangerous world's constant attacks on their bodies. The hospital tour was worse than he expected. This is our emergency room, explained Dr. Sarah Chen, the head of the facility. We treat approximately 200 patients here daily. Daily? Brextu's scanner was going wild. What injuries could require such constant treatment? Oh, the usual, Dr. Chen said casually. Car accidents, falls, burns, cuts, poisonings, allergic reactions, heart attacks, strokes, infections, broken bones, sport injuries. She said it like it was normal. Hundreds of humans damaged every day in just this one building in just one city, and the humans had thousands of cities. This man, Dr. Chen pointed to a patient, fell off a ladder while painting his house, broke 3 ribs and punctured a lung. We repaired it. He will be home tomorrow. Tomorrow? Brextu was astounded. Such injuries would require months of regeneration therapy for most species. Humans heal quickly, Dr. Chen said. We have to living here. They watched in horrified fascination as doctors cut open a human, removed a damaged organ, and replaced it with one from a dead human. Organ transplantation, Dr. Chen explained. We take parts from the dead and give them to the living. You harvest your dead? Pixel squeaked. With their permission given before death. It saves lives. The next stop was what the humans called a gym. Krelon had read about these facilities, but seeing one in person was different. Humans were deliberately lifting heavy objects, running without going anywhere and contorting their bodies into painful positions. Exercise, Chen Martinez explained. We damage our muscle fibers so they grow back stronger. A human man was lifting a metal bar loaded with heavy discs. His face was red, veins bulging, sweat pouring from his skin. He looked like he was dying. Then he put the weight down and smiled. New personal record, he announced to the room. Other humans applauded. He nearly killed himself, Delegate Korax observed. And the others celebrate this? It's how we grow stronger, Chen Martinez said. Controlled damage and recovery. It's the human way. They visited a school next. Human children, the ambassador expected, would be carefully protected given the dangers of their world. He was wrong. The young humans ran around a paved area chasing a ball, colliding with each other. Several fell, skin tearing on the rough ground. They got up, blood seeping from their wounds, and continued playing. Should they not receive medical attention? Yixmar asked. For scrapes? The human teacher looked confused. They will heal in a few days. Children need to learn to handle minor injuries. Minor injuries. Open wounds were minor to these people. Inside the school, young humans were learning about their world. The teacher was explaining volcanoes. Sometimes the ground explodes and liquid rock comes out, she said cheerfully to the 5-year-olds. Who wants to make a model volcano? The children cheered. They wanted to model one of their planet's dangers for fun. For education, the final stop of the day was a human home. An average family, Chen Martinez said, to show how typical humans lived. The house contained so many dangers that Krelon's security team wanted to evacuate immediately. Knives in the food preparation area, fire-producing devices, electricity running through the walls, chemicals under the sink that could kill if mixed wrong, and in the middle of it all, a family of 4 humans, including 2 children, lived comfortably. Welcome to our home, the father said. Would you like to see our backyard? The backyard contained a pool of water, deep enough to drown in, a device with sharp rotating blades for cutting plant matter, a grill that produced fire for cooking animal flesh, and a small structure where the children played elevated off the ground high enough that falling would break bones. My children love the treehouse, the mother said proudly. They practically live up there in summer. As they watched, the family's pet emerged from the house. It was a dog, a predator descended from wolves. It ran straight at the youngest child, knocked her down, and began licking her face with a tongue covered in bacteria. The child laughed. Stop it, buddy. That tickles. The predator is attacking her, Pixel whispered. He's playing, the father explained. Dogs are very affectionate predators. Playing attacks. This world made no sense. As the tour ended and they returned to their shuttle, Chen Martinez asked them to wait. She had one more thing to show them. The sun was setting, painting the sky in reds and oranges. The humans had gathered in a park, hundreds of them sitting on fabric on the ground. What are they doing? Krelon asked. Watching the sunset, Chen Martinez said. We find it beautiful. And suddenly, Krelon understood something important. These humans, living on a world that tried to kill them every day, had learned to find beauty in it. They did not just survive their death world. They loved it. Music began playing. Humans started dancing, moving their bodies in rhythm. Children ran between the adults, playing games. Elderly humans sat on benches, talking and laughing. Young couples held hands, staring at the sky. This is humanity, Chen Martinez said softly. Yes, our world is dangerous. Yes, we have adapted in ways that seem strange to you, but we have also learned to find joy in every moment because we know how fragile life. The Galactic Council chamber had never been so crowded. Representatives from 317 species filled every seat, perch, and tank. The topic of discussion had drawn them all: the humans of Earth and whether they should be admitted to the galactic community. Ambassador Krelon stood at the center, his tentacles steady despite his nerves. Behind him, Dr. Yixmar had arranged displays showing data, images, and videos from Earth. Several council members had already looked away from the screens, unable to watch humans engaging in their death-defying activities. Esteemed colleagues, Krelon began, I come before you with findings that challenge our fundamental understanding of life itself. High Counselor Zephyros, an ancient being from a world of eternal calm, spoke first. Ambassador, your reports claim these humans thrive on a Class 12 death world. This classification is reserved for planets where no intelligence could possibly develop. Yet you say 8 billion of them live there? 8 billion and growing, Krelon confirmed. They reproduce faster than their world can kill them. A murmur rippled through the chamber. Several species considered such reproductive rates a sign of primitive development. Show us, demanded Counselor Rexa Theta of the warrior Krex. Even her battle-hardened species had read the reports with disbelief. Yixmar activated the first display. It showed Earth from space, then zoomed in on various disasters currently happening on the planet. A hurricane destroying coastal cities, an earthquake toppling buildings, a volcano erupting, floods, fires, tornadoes, all happening simultaneously across the globe. On any given day, Yixmar explained, Earth experiences dozens of natural disasters that would require total evacuation on any of our worlds. The humans have a word for this: Tuesday. They name their disasters? Asked Counselor Piplock, her crystalline form chiming in confusion. No, Tuesday is a day of their week. They mean such events are so common they do not consider them special. The display changed to show human history: wars, plagues, famines, extinctions, event after event that should have ended their species. The humans evolved during an ice age, Yixmar continued. Most of their planet was frozen. They had no claws, no armor, no venom, no natural weapons. They were prey for everything. So they developed intelligence to compensate. But surely once they became intelligent, they would create safety. Counselor Zephyros suggested. Krelon made a sound that might have been laughter. They made it worse. They created weapons that could destroy their entire world. They polluted their air and water. They changed their climate by accident. Then, instead of dying, they adapted to the new dangers they had created. The display showed images of human cities, towering structures in earthquake zones, underwater settlements in crushing depths, stations in frozen wastelands, cities in deserts where water did not exist. They do not build where it is safe, Yixmar said. They build everywhere and make it work. Counselor Valzar of the Science Federation raised a tentacle. Their biology. Explain their biology. Medical Officer Brextu stepped forward. His species were renowned healers and his analysis carried weight. The human body is a walking contradiction, he began. They are fragile and nearly indestructible at the same time. Their skin tears easily but heals quickly. Their bones break but mend stronger. They can survive injuries that would kill any of us instantly. He showed medical scans. This human fell 6 stories onto solid ground, broke half the bones in his body. He lived and returned to full function in 1 Earth year. Gasps echoed through the chamber. But here is the truly remarkable part, Brextu continued. The human body contains more bacteria cells than human cells. They are not a single organism. They are a colony of trillions of organisms working together. The bacteria help them digest food, fight disease, even influence their thoughts. They are infected? Counselor Zephyros asked in horror. They are symbiotic. They cannot live without these bacteria. Kill the bacteria and the human dies. They have evolved together for millions of years. The display showed the human immune system in action, a constant war inside every human body, fighting off invaders while maintaining the beneficial bacteria. Their immune system is the most aggressive we have ever seen, Brextu said. It attacks everything foreign, learns from each attack, and remembers. Diseases that kill them once often cannot kill them again. They even inject themselves with weakened diseases to train their immune systems. They deliberately infect themselves? Multiple voices asked at once. Vaccination, they call it. They have eliminated many of their most deadly diseases this way. Counselor Rex Theta leaned forward. What of their minds? How does intelligence develop under such pressure? Dr. Yixmar took over again. Human psychology is fascinating. They have a concept called post-traumatic growth. Extreme stress and danger can make them mentally stronger. They seek out controlled danger for enjoyment. They tell stories about terrible events for entertainment. They play games that simulate conflict and death. She showed videos of humans playing what they called video games, watching horror movies, riding roller coasters. They have turned fear into fun, she said simply. The council was silent for a moment. Then Counselor Helix of the Logic-Driven Computation Collective spoke. This does not compute. Evolution favors the path of least resistance. Intelligence should develop in stable, safe environments where energy can be devoted to thinking rather than survival. That is what we believed, Krelon agreed. But consider this. On a safe world, what pressure exists to become more intelligent? If food is abundant, climate is stable, and predators are few, why develop tools, language, cooperation? He gestured to the Earth display. On Earth, only the smartest survived. Those who could make tools from anything. Those who could work together. Those who could plan and adapt and overcome. Every generation that lived passed on genes for greater intelligence because the stupid died. You are saying, Counselor Zephyros said slowly, that Earth's hostility created human intelligence. More than that, Yixmar said. It created human creativity. They could not rely on instinct because Earth is too unpredictable. They had to learn to imagine solutions to problems that did not exist yet. They had to become innovative. The display showed human inventions: fire, wheels, agriculture, writing, mathematics, computers, spaceflight. Each one developed to solve problems created by their hostile world. In the span of 10,000 Earth years, Yixmar said, they went from using stones as tools to splitting atoms. Most species take millions of years to develop such technology. Humans did it almost overnight because they had to. Their world gave them no choice. Counselor Jacksnill, whose species had taken 3 million years to develop spaceflight, was visibly disturbed. They developed nuclear weapons before they developed sustainable energy. They developed nuclear weapons while still fighting with metal blades in some parts of their world, Krelon corrected. Human development is not uniform. It happens in explosive bursts, usually triggered by conflict or disaster. These beings, Counselor Zephyros said carefully, sound incredibly dangerous. They are, Krelon agreed immediately, but not in the way you think. He pulled up a new set of data. Humans have a concept called empathy, the ability to feel what others feel. It developed because cooperation was essential for survival on Earth. A human alone dies quickly. Humans in groups survive. The display showed humans helping each other during disasters, running into burning buildings to save strangers, diving into violent water to rescue drowning people, donating organs to people they had never met. The same world that made them dangerous also made them compassionate, Krelon explained. They know suffering intimately, so they try to prevent it in others. They face death daily, so they value life intensely. But they're wars, Counselor Rexus Theta protested. Your reports show they have killed millions of their own kind. Yes, Krelon admitted. But they also learned from each war. They created international laws, peace organizations. They went from world wars to decades of relative peace. They are violent, but they are learning not to be. Dr. Yixmar added, they have a saying, we are not perfect, but we are trying. They acknowledge their flaws and actively work to overcome them. Counselor Piplock chimed, what do they want from us? Why do they seek to join the galactic community? Chen Martinez appeared on the display. The council had agreed to let her speak via transmission, though she remained on Earth. Hello, members of the Galactic Council, she said. You ask what we want? We want to learn. We want to explore. We want to meet new friends and see new worlds. We have dreamed of the stars since we first looked up at them. She smiled, and several council members flinched at the sight of human teeth. We know we are different. We know our world is hostile by your standards, but we also know we have something to offer. We have survived everything the universe has thrown at us. We have learned to find hope in the darkest places. We have turned a death world into a home. She paused, then continued. You fear us because we are dangerous. You are right too. We are the children of a world that tried to kill us every day. But that same world taught us to value life, to protect the weak, to face the impossible. We are dangerous, yes, but we choose to be kind. The transmission ended. The council chamber was quiet. Finally, Counselor Zephyros spoke. 6 months had passed since the Galactic Council voted to begin integration with Earth. The news had spread across every civilized world, creating excitement, fear, and endless debate. Today, something unprecedented would happen. The first alien students would arrive at Earth's newly established Extreme Environment Training Academy. Commander Zixa Theta stood in the observation deck of the orbital station above Earth, watching the shuttle prepare for departure. Beside him, Chen Martinez checked her tablet for the 100th time. 15 students from 12 different species, she said. Are you sure about this? No, Zix Theta admitted, his tentacles curling with anxiety. But the galaxy needs to understand humans if we are to work together. And humans insist the best way to understand them is to experience their world. Through the window, they could see Earth below. A hurricane was forming in the Atlantic. Volcanic activity in 3 locations. Earthquake warnings along 2 major fault lines. A typical day on the Death World. The environmental suits have been triple-checked, Chen Martinez assured him. We have medical teams standing by. Every possible safety measure is in place. Zixa Theta appreciated her concern, but he knew the truth. No safety measure could truly protect someone from Earth. The planet would find a way to test them. The shuttle launched, carrying its precious cargo of young beings who had volunteered for what many called a suicide mission. Among them was Zix Theta's own offspring, Val Theta, who had insisted on joining despite all parental protests. The shuttle landed at the training facility in Colorado, a location chosen for its variety of dangerous terrain, mountains, forests, rapid rivers, and unpredictable weather, perfect for showing the aliens what Earth could do. The students emerged in their environmental suits, looking at the landscape with a mixture of awe and terror. Snow-capped peaks rose into clouds. Dense forests stretched to the horizon. The air itself seemed to shimmer with danger. "Welcome to Earth," said their instructor, a human named Jack Morrison. He wore simple clothing despite the cold wind. "I'm your survival instructor. My job is to teach you how humans think, act, and survive. By the end of this course, you'll understand why we are the way we are." A young Pixelan raised a trembling hand. "Will we have to remove our suits?" "Not unless you want to," Jack said with a smile that showed his predator teeth. "But you might surprise yourself by the end." The first lesson was simple observation. Jack led them on a walk through the forest, pointing out dangers they would never have noticed. "See that plant? Pretty red berries. Deadly poison. That tree? The bark contains a chemical that causes severe burns. Those mushrooms? Eat them and you'll see visions before your organs fail. That stream? Full of bacteria that will colonize your intestines. How do you remember all the dangers?" asked Valtheta. "We don't," Jack said cheerfully. "We teach our children a rhyme, leaves of 3, let it be. Red touches yellow, kill a fellow. When in doubt, don't put it in your mouth. We learn through experience and sometimes, unfortunately, death." He led them to a clearing where human children were playing. The alien students watched in horror as the young humans climbed trees, threw objects at each other, and wrestled in the dirt. "They could fall," gasped a Vendorian student. "They could break bones." "Probably will," Jack agreed. "I broke my arm 3 times as a kid. Part of growing up." A human child, perhaps 7 years old, ran over to them. She had dirt on her face and a scratch on her knee that was bleeding slightly. "Mr. Morrison, look what I found." She held up a large spider. Every alien student backed away. Jack just smiled. "That's a wolf spider, Emma. Good find. Remember, we look but don't hurt them." "I know," Emma said. She studied the aliens with curious eyes. "Are you the space people? Do you want to hold my spider?" The aliens unanimously declined. As Emma ran off, Jack explained, "Human children learn by interacting with danger in controlled ways. It builds confidence, teaches limits, and develops judgment. A child who never faces danger becomes an adult who cannot handle it." The next lesson was about human adaptation. Jack brought them to the Academy's medical center, where Dr. Lisa Park demonstrated human healing. "This volunteer," she indicated a young man, "will show you how humans recover from injury." The man held out his arm. Dr. Park made a small cut with a sterile blade. The aliens gasped. Blood flowed for a moment, then began to clot. Within minutes, the bleeding stopped. "Human blood contains platelets that form plugs in wounds," Dr. Park explained. "Our skin will fully heal this cut in about a week, leaving barely a mark." "You damage yourselves for education?" a Crex student asked. "Small controlled damage helps us understand our limits," Dr. Park said. "Also, this volunteer is being paid well." The young man grinned. "I've had worse injuries skateboarding." The aliens did not want to know what skateboarding was. On the 3rd day, Jack announced they would learn about human pack bonding. He brought them to a local animal shelter. "Humans form emotional connections with other species," he explained. "We call them pets." The shelter was full of Earth creatures. Dogs, cats, rabbits, birds, even reptiles. All of them were predators, prey, or scavengers that would be considered dangerous on any civilized world. "This is Max," Jack said, introducing a large dog. "He weighs 60 pounds, has teeth designed for tearing meat, and is descended from wolves." Max wagged his tail and tried to lick Jack's face. "He could kill you," observed a Threnian student. "Easily," Jack agreed. "But he won't, because humans and dogs have been partners for 30,000 years. We evolved together." A small human girl was in one cage, sitting with several puppies climbing over her. She was laughing as they chewed on her hair and clothes with their sharp teeth. "They are attacking her," Valtheta said in alarm. "They are playing," Jack corrected. "Young predators learn through play. So do young humans." He opened a cage and pulled out a cat, a small predator with retractable claws. "Would anyone like to hold her?" To everyone's surprise, Valtheta stepped forward. Through his suit's gloves, he carefully took the cat. It purred, a vibration he could feel even through the protective material. "It's producing sound," he said in wonder. "Purring. It means she's content." Cats purr at a frequency that promotes healing in bones and tissue. We don't fully understand it, but being near a purring cat makes humans feel better. You keep creatures that heal you with sound? Valthetta was amazed. We keep creatures that make us happy, Jack said. Sometimes that's the same thing. Week 2 brought weather training. A storm was approaching and Jack insisted they experience it. This is rain, he said as water began falling from the sky. Happens all the time here. The rain intensified. Then came lightning. Brilliant flashes followed by thunder that shook the ground. The alien students huddled together in terror. Electricity from the sky, one whispered. How do humans survive this? We build lightning rods to redirect it, Jack said. We learn to work with nature, not against it. A human child ran past them, splashing in puddles, laughing as rain soaked her completely. She'll get sick, a student said. Maybe, Jack agreed. But her immune system will get stronger. And look at her face. She's having fun. Humans find joy even in discomfort. By the 3rd week, something remarkable happened. The students began to understand. They watched humans not with fear, but with curiosity. They saw how humans helped each other during difficulties, how they laughed at danger, how they turned every challenge into an opportunity. Valthetta was the first to make the breakthrough. During a hiking expedition, he stopped and really looked at the view. Mountains stretching to the horizon, clouds painting shadows on the valleys, eagles soaring on thermal currents. It's beautiful, he said suddenly. Jack smiled. Now you're starting to see Earth like we do. But it's still deadly, Valthetta said. Yes, beautiful and deadly. That's what makes it worth protecting. The final test came in week 4. A real emergency. A human hiker had fallen in a remote area and needed rescue. Jack looked at his students. This is what humans do. We help each other. Who wants to come? Every hand, tentacle, and appendage rose. They found the hiker with a broken leg, stuck on a narrow ledge. The human rescue team worked efficiently, but they needed help. Valthetta, surprising everyone including himself, volunteered to be lowered down to attach the safety harness. Your suit will protect you, Jack said, but you'll need to be brave. Valthetta descended, fighting every instinct that told him to flee. The injured human looked at him with pain-filled but grateful eyes. Thank you, the human said simply. Those 2 words changed everything for Valthetta. He understood. Humans faced death together. They saved each other. They were grateful for help. They were not fearless. They were brave, which meant doing what was needed despite the fear. The rescue succeeded. As they returned to base, Valthetta made a decision. I want to try, he told Jack. Try what? To breathe your air. Just for a moment. Jack studied him carefully. Are you sure? We have medical teams ready, but I trust you, Valthetta said. 3 words that meant everything. With full medical support standing by, Valthetta removed his helmet. Earth's air hit him like a shock, heavy with nitrogen, oxygen that burned slightly, countless microscopic organisms, but also something else. The smell of pine trees, the cool touch of wind, the sound of birds without the filter of his suit.